Welcome, Virgo and Virgo cross watchers, to your love reading for January 2023. So I do want to say a big thank you to everybody for all of the attention. Sorry, I don't know how to say that. For all of the love that you've given the channel, I am truly grateful for it. I've really enjoyed being able to build the channel these past year and a bit, and I just want to say thank you. For those of you that are new, welcome. Hope everyone had a healthy, safe, and happy New Year's Eve, and that you're off to a great start. Just trying to focus on the cards. So for those of you that have been with me for a while, I started shuffling cards on camera with the mini weeklies last week, and I really enjoyed that. So you might see that for a little while. This person's heart space. Oh, also, I have opened up the private readings again, so my email will be below in the description box if you'd like to schedule a private reading. So we have Judgment at the bottom of the deck. So, Virgo, I'm just going to grab a sip of my coffee here. Excuse me. So, obviously there is something that you are struggling to see right now. And actually what it feels like is you're trying to push out some negative thoughts. I feel like there are, either it is actual people that are doing this to you, or there's like a negative thought pattern that you're trying to break yourself free from. And I feel, Virgo, that you may be doing that. This might call you out a little. It feels like you're doing that by ignoring it. And there's this message here that you actually may have a much easier time. I feel like the more you try to ignore it, the bigger it gets, the harder these crows are going to try to peck at you. I feel like if you take the blindfold off and face it, it's almost like that takes the power out of it. It seems to be that it's like once you open your eyes and you're like, yeah, what? I feel like the crows won't really know what to do, if that makes sense. It actually feels like that may set you free quite a bit more. It may make you feel not lonely, but alone. But it definitely feels that acknowledging whatever this is, either that these people are being cruel to you and calling them out on it, or looking at some thoughts that you may have been trying to push out for a while. And that doesn't mean that you allow yourself to believe them. It's just you kind of acknowledge their presence. It's that like feel the fear, but do it anyway. It's that kind of an energy. And I actually feel that despite the fact that these crows may be pecking a little bit more at you recently, it doesn't feel like they're getting inside you. It feels like they're a little bit more of a nuisance at this point. And it almost feels like it may not be the most important thing to you right now to get rid of them. So in your heart space here, we have the Six of Cups with the High Priestess. A lot of love energy here. I'm not trying to be a smart aleck. Virgo, I feel like you are, it actually feels like the reason that these crows aren't really kind of taking over right now, that they're not the most important. I actually feel like your heart is, this might sound corny, but it feels like it's kind of filled with love right now. I feel like your heart seems to be in a really peaceful place. I feel like it's like how the Two of Swords was saying that you may be alone, but you don't feel lonely. And I feel like that's because of where your heart is. I feel like you seem to have a real, genuine appreciation for yourself. I feel like you're looking back at memories and almost kind of getting a little bit of a kick out of certain situations. I feel like you are really proud of how you've conducted yourself. I feel like you had to make some choices in the past that it feels like you're very proud of your past self for making the decision that you did, for taking yourself on a certain path. I feel like it may have been a very, very hard decision. It feels like it was one that kind of made you put your head down and drag your feet while you were walking on that path. And I feel like you're where you are now because you chose to allow those unfruitful parts of yourself to be left behind. And it almost feels like you may be feeling like, a snake that's just shed its skin. So maybe a little bit vulnerable on the outside, but internally, it's like I watch a lot of superhero movies, like Adamantium, or whatever, you know what I mean? Like, it feels like you are impenetrable. And I feel like because there's a certain element of you, when you look back on those memories, I feel like you can see where you went wrong, but I feel like you're also willing to give yourself enough grace to see that you made the best decision that you could based on the information that you knew to be true at the time. So I feel like you're just kind of forgiving yourself for having made certain choices that may have led you to a harder path than you needed to be on. And I feel like when you started to choose to almost like, it's that energy of like you chose to suffer now for the future reward. It's like you're either you are getting to it or you are in that place where you're feeling the future reward. That's why these crows aren't that important, because they seem to be much smaller when you're looking at the big picture. I do want to say, Virgo, I feel like there's somebody here that treated you like you were a game. They seem to be able to think that they could come in and, you know, they treated you kind of like the controller on the Xbox, right? It's like they come in, turn you on, use you, and leave. And I feel like there's something about that situation that you seem to be keeping pretty close to the chest. I feel like there's something about that, communicating something about that seems to be kind of blocking your throat chakra right now. It just feels like there's something that you could have said that you haven't. It feels like the time has passed and there's no point in saying it anymore. But I feel like there's a message that you will be able to shed the weight of that. You can say it out loud. You don't have to say it to the person that you wanted to say it to, but I feel like even just saying it out loud seems to, any of your power that's being extended to carrying the weight of that right now, of not saying what you really wanted to say at the time, I feel like saying it out loud actually seems to help you release it. And it's almost like it, instead of it being something that weighs you down, it almost like fortifies your armor. So we have the Nine of Pentacles reversed for what's your actions or intentions towards this person. So there's a couple of things here. Of course, the Nine of Pentacles is that pre-Empress energy, right? But what's interesting is it actually feels like you are keeping the fact that you're feeling really good secret. I feel like there may be this perception externally that your life is really chaotic right now, that things are out of control, that like there must be something wrong. I feel like people are looking at it like you must be, like, I want to say off your rocker, or people are feeling that you must be suffering the consequences of all these bad choices you've made. And I feel like you're kind of sitting over here kind of giggling to yourself like, nope, because you're not. And I feel like that's because other people are trying to define your happiness by how they would define their own. And because you don't get the same satisfaction out of things that give them satisfaction, it actually feels like you're much freer to be happier without them. And it's almost this energy of, may not be the actual situation, but it's the energetics of it. It feels like people may, for example, if you are single and people are assuming that you must be unhappy because you're single, but you're over here like, haha, nope, nope. You know, that you're actually really enjoying that time by yourself. You're enjoying being on your own. You're enjoying being able to, just enjoy your own company. I feel like you may have been, this might be specific, you may have been in a relationship in the past where somebody was just fucking always on you. And I do try not to cuss on this channel, but sometimes I do. And I feel like it's like that person would kind of make, give you shit for laughing at something or for doing this or for doing that. It's like they took everything personally, even if it wasn't about them. And I seem to be seeing that may be why you don't care about what these crows are saying, because I feel like that it's residual from that person, that it's just that person's voice, and the longer you're away from them, the more it's just going to die out. I do feel that there's a little bit, just going to say it here, I do feel that you may not want to look some of those right in the face, because I feel like you don't want to admit that this person stopped you. It doesn't feel necessarily that they hurt you, but it's that they stopped you from doing what you wanted to do, or saying what you wanted to say, or laughing at what you wanted to laugh at. And I feel like it's because that in those moments, whether they took your power or you gave it away, they had some of it. And I feel like that's something that you it's almost like you feel that you dishonored yourself when you did those things. So I feel like you're trying to push that out of your mind. And I feel like it's the same message as before, that that just because that happened in the past, and this may not resonate for everybody, I'm hearing, just because that happened in the past doesn't mean you're going to allow that to happen in the future. It's like that was a previous version of you that it happened to. And yes, it's still you, but I actually feel that the only reason that it's still there is because you haven't acknowledged that there was an effect on you. It's almost like you don't want to give this person credit for having had an impact on you, because I feel like you have very little, it's like you have no use for them in your life, and you kind of don't want to think about them. You don't want to da-da-da. And I feel like that may be a faster way to get them out of your head. I feel like if you keep going on the path you're going, that you'll get them out anyway. It just feels like that's a faster way to do it. So, sorry, back to the cards. And if I've said this already, I apologize. I feel like people may be thinking that you must be lonely, you must be this, you must be that, but it actually feels like you're coming to a place of real balance here. Excuse me. It just feels like people may be making certain assumptions about you, because it's like the way that you are acting, at least presenting, what they see of you, it's like that's how they would act if they were really struggling or if they were really having a hard time. But for you, it's almost like you're in this transition mode. You're in this, not even transition. I feel like you've shed the skin and you're now just kind of getting used to being in this new skin, I guess you could say, in this new body, in this new, almost like younger version of you. But it's not that you are actually younger. It's that you feel younger because you're lighter, because you've shed what everybody else keeps putting on you. So your person, in their headspace, we have the Two of Wands. So I feel like this person is thinking a lot about you. I feel like they are, hold on for a second. I feel like they may be seeing you as feeling a lot more forlorn for them than you actually are. I feel like they seem to be, listen, man, if you think that this person doesn't think about you, think again. How many times do you think I could say think in a sentence, eh? Sorry. But they have this picture in their mind of you doing this exactly, of you kind of waiting there for them, of you holding their place. You know what I mean? Like this is their wand over there. Or actually no, hold on. Yeah, and they're just kind of waiting for their, or they think that you are just waiting for them to come back. No, no. I'm not sure what is giving this person that impression, but that's definitely not what's happening. It almost feels like this person expects, when they come back onto the scene, because it's their impression that you're in this energy, that you are desperately longing for them. They seem to feel that they can just make their presence known and you're going to go chasing after them. And like, bitch, no, that's not at all what's going to happen, because you're in a really great place actually. And it's like the last thing that you need is somebody that has such a big ego that they need people to flock to them. And it really does feel like this person expects you to do that. And it's like, even if you went in and gave them what they wanted, I feel like they'd be like, no, no. And it's like they kind of want you to, it's almost like they'd be sitting here and you come in and offer them what they want. And I feel like they turn their head and they want you to keep following them and keep getting in their headspace. It's like, for some reason, they need a lot of validation, a lot of confirmation. It's like they seem to need to know that there's going to be some security or solid foundation within a relationship before it really is established. You know what I mean? It's like they seem to want to get back into that, into a relationship with you, but they want you to be the person that makes amends here. And I'm going to be straight with you. I feel like this person thinks that they're in the right. They seem to feel that whatever's happened here, that they did the right thing and it's now your problem. And if this person thinks that that's what's going to happen, I feel like they're going to be real disappointed. Because it's, it doesn't feel like you're going to flip this person off and tell them to hit the road or anything, but that's not what's going to happen here. You know what I mean? It's like you have too much self-respect to go fawning after somebody that needs that much attention. You know what I mean? It's not like you're going to get on your knees and beg for somebody to love you and then have them kind of humph, no, not yet. You know what I mean? Like, no. And I actually feel like this person may come in and try to get your attention, but because you're busy with other stuff, because you've done a lot of work on yourself and you're letting a lot of stuff go, I feel like you might not even notice them walk in the door, sort of thing. You know what I mean? And it's like, they'll think like, oh, they're just ignoring me. They're just ignoring me. They're focused on me. Oh yeah, they are. Oh yeah, they are. And I feel like you might even leave the, for example, going back to that example, you walk in, they walk in, you may leave without really even noticing them. And I feel like they seem to think that it's this game between the two of you, and it's not. So in their heart space here, we have the King of Pentacles. So the King of Pentacles talks about the businessman or business person. I apologize. Please don't get too hung up on the genders that are represented on the cards. It's not about the gender. It's about the energy in the card. So the King of Pentacles is an energy where, number one, I feel like this person is going to have a change of heart. I feel like their heart knows what's really going on. The King of Pentacles is someone that they are in a comfortable place in their life, but they didn't get there by giving everything away. They got there by being making wise moves, making good business decisions. And I feel like there may be a part of this person that kind of expects, they expect this situation to need to be balanced. And I feel like they know in their heart that this expectation that they have of you coming in and chasing them is not realistic. It's just not. It's like they know that they haven't given enough to the relationship. And I mean, that would really never be what you would do, I don't think. But it's more like, I think this person knows that what they want is unrealistic, that almost like they need to get a solid or a more solid foundation within themselves before they can really offer you something appropriate. It does feel like they're a little cocky. It does feel like they are a little bit arrogant. It does feel like there's a part of them that's very defensive. I feel like there might maybe times with this person that it's like they act like this really great person all the time, but there are these little moments where they throw out these really vile comments. You know what I mean? And it's like, it's almost like there's something about it that's obviously unsettling. And I feel like that may not actually be how they feel about you. I feel like the good part of them is actually how they feel. It just feels like there's this remnant of kind of vile behavior that they have that they kind of don't want to let go of yet. They seem to feel that they get a bit of not power out of it necessarily, but they seem to feel safe knowing that they still have that side of themselves available if they need it. And I feel like you're looking at the situation that it just feels really questionable. You know what I mean? It's like you're kind of striving towards this, letting all of this stuff go, and this person seems to be pretty adamant about holding on to that part of themselves that can really cut somebody pretty deep if they need to. So finally, the situation between you, we have the daughter. This would be the Page of Pentacles, but it is reversed. So the Page of Pentacles is that, I mean, in a literal sense, it would be a really practical offer like, hey, can I help you with that? Can I grab that for you? Can I open the door? That sort of thing. But reversed, I actually feel like nothing really moves forward in this connection right now. And I feel like for you, that's a bit of a relief. For this person, it actually feels like they seem to think that if they hold out long enough in this energy that they're going to get what they want. And I feel like it's possible that they hold out so long that the offer that they really wanted is gone. And I do want to say, to this person's credit, okay, I actually feel that if that happens, that they seem to get into this energy genuinely. It's almost like they seem to feel, hold on for a second. It feels like it's too big. It feels like it's almost this feeling that like they don't want you to go, but they feel that the two of you maybe aren't the best match, or it's like maybe they feel that they would have to kind of level up a little bit to be with you. And I feel like that intimidates them because it feels like they're not ready. So I do feel to a certain extent that the reason they're kind of pushing it away is because they feel that they're not going to be able to match you. And in that, it's like they need you to fight for them so that they know that you're okay with them being less than you. Now, that's not to say that's actually the case. It just feels like that's where their head is at. And I feel like because they're in this, because of the energy that they're in, they may not actually realize that that's what they're doing. So I think I'll leave it there, Scorpio. Just to let you guys know, just a bit of housekeeping. So I will be posting the weekly reads, the minis, on Sunday. But next week, me and the kids are all going back to school, so I'm not sure I'll have time to record these longer videos that are released in the week. If I can't, I will let you know. I'll post something in the community section on Sunday just to let everybody know, but I just wanted to give you a heads up. And so, of course, if this reading resonated, I hope it was helpful and brought you some clarity. And if you have made it to the end, I appreciate you, and I'm so glad you're here. Much love. Bye.